Good day, everyone. My topic is about the RA 8545, which means Expanded Government Assistance to the Students and Teachers in Private Education Act. So, first, what is RA 8545? So, RA 8545, an act amending Republic Act number 6728, otherwise known as an act providing government assistance to students and teachers in private education, and appropriating funds, and also establishing a fund for the purpose of subsidizing salaries of private school teachers and appropriating funds. So that's why they called this act known as the Expanded Government Assistance to be Students and Teachers in Private Education Act. So the government assistance to the students and teachers in private education, consisting of the Education Service Contracting or ESC and the teacher salary subsidy. So in a demonstration of the government's commitment to maintain the viability of private education as a key partner in the delivery of quality of basic education, DepEd also support for this commitment. So next is the policies and guidelines on the implementation of the government assistance to the students and teachers in private education or GASTPE. So program effective school year in 2016 to 2017. So to ensure its effective and efficiency, program implementation, the policy and guideline shall remain unaffected unless otherwise amended. So next is the Article 19 of the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines and Republic Act number 8545, the Expanded Government Assistance to the Students and Teachers in Private Education Act. So, the Expanded Government Assistance to the Students and Teachers in Private Education Act provide a legal basis for educational service contracting or ESC. So it is the declared policy of the state in conformity with the mandate of the Constitution to promote and make quality of education available to all Filipino citizens. And also, the state also hereby recognize the complementary rules of public and private educational institution in the educational system and the valuable and contribute that the private schools have made and will make to education. So for this purpose, the state shall provide the mechanisms to improve quality in private education by recognizing in the process the government's responsibility to provide a basic, elementary, and secondary education and post-secondary, vocational, and technical education and higher education as having a prior over its other function. So elementary education had 6 years and secondary education had 4 years. So post-secondary education like non-degree vocational like TESDA and CHED. So next is the general principles and policies. So the guidelines and procedure for the implementation of the ESC shall be governed by the following general principles and policies. So first, the ESC program aims to democratize and improve access to quality junior high school education through government extension of financial assistance to deserving elementary school graduates who wish to pursue their junior high school education in a private schools. So this program beneficiaries in ESC in participating private junior high schools are assured of the government's commitment to support their education for as long as they met the requirements for regular promotion to each of the succeeding schools years until they graduate. And next, so the ESC is a concrete demonstration of public-private partnership that is apparent at all levels of a program's operations. So through its national secretariat and the participating private schools, so they recognize the need to continuously monitor and evaluate the ESC. Next is the program management. So general responsibilities of DepEd in general. The DepEd Central Office shall ensure the smooth and efficient implementation of the program through the following. So first is the coordinate with PEAC. So PEAC means Private Education Assistant Committee, is the formulation or management and conduct of a teacher and administrator training programs in accordance with DepEd's training's priorities for purpose of supporting and ensuring the delivery of quality education service by participating private schools. So PEAC also conduct of research and evaluation studies on the ES and the TSS, as well as on priority education related issues, so subject by the DepEd's approval. Next is the prescribe the necessary policies and directives for a ESC and TSS. So they ensure that the annual as well as the long-term funding requirements of the ESC and TSS are supported and provided for by their inclusion in the DepEd's annual budget. So next is the provide PEAC or Private Education Assistant Committee. So with this access to data, documents, and other informations that are pertinent to the ESC and TSS, such as state to report on the payments of grants to participating schools and basic education information system or BEIS. And next is the general responsibilities of PEAC or Private Education Assistance Committee. So first is conduct orientation conferences on ESC and TSS. So the policies and guidelines are procedure and other related matter for the RPCOM and the DepEd Schools Division Office concerned that participating schools and individuals are part of the conducting orientation conference on the ESC and the TSS. And next is the conduct continuous certification of ESC. So by participating schools as a system of quality, so assurance of service and providers, like to manage and conduct teacher and administrator training program in accordance with DepEd. So next is evaluate and process the billing statements of each school participating in the ESC and TSS. So including the supporting documents and required under DepEd approval policies and guidelines. And by submitting to DepEd the process of ESC and TSS billing statement and supporting documents for processing of the payments. So next is the PEAC Regional Program Secretariat. So the PEACRS shall be headed by the Regional Program Director and assisted by a Regional Program Coordinator. So the main responsibility of the PEACRS shall be provided technical and administrative support in the overall management of the programs at the regional and school levels. So the PEACRS is expected to address or respond to the specific needs of a participating schools in their mission of improving students' learning. So they manage day-to-day implementation and coordinate it with its effects with its RPCOM and PEACNS. And next is the general guidelines. So condition of the ES grants. So the ES grants shall cover 4 years of the junior high school from grade 7 to grade 10. So the provision of the ES grants starts at the grade 7 level. So no new grants shall be awarded at higher grade levels if the grantees are enrolled in night high school or evening classes designed for 5 years so curriculum, so the grant be availed for 4 years only. So here are some sections under this Republic Act 8545. So first is the Declaration of Policy. So Declaration of Policy is a declared policy of the state on conformity with the mandate of the Constitution and to promote and make quality education and accessible to all Filipino citizens. And next is a criteria for assistance. So the programs for assistance shall be based on a set of criteria which shall include, among others, tuition fees charged by the schools, the socioeconomic needs to its region, giving priority to the Social Reform Agenda or SRA. And next is a forms of assistance. So this kind of assistance to private education shall consist of assistance to students and assistance to teachers. And next is tuition fee. So tuition fee supplements for students in private high schools, like financial assistance for tuitions for students in a private high school shall be provided by the government through a voucher system like Scholar or CHED or DST. And next is High School Textbook Assistance Fund. So there shall be established in the Department of Education, Culture and Sports and a high school textbook assistance funds so that they have a assistance. And next is the College Faculty Development Fund. So the purpose of improving quality of teaching in private post-secondary vocational and technical institutions and higher educational institution. So there's heavily established in the TISDA and also in CHED. And next is penalties. So penalties in case of violations of the provisions of this act or the rules and regulations promulgate pursuant thereto by institution. Next is separability clause. If any provision of this act is declared unconstitutional, the same shall not affect the validity and effectivity of the other provision not affected thereby. And last is the effectivity clause. So this act shall take effect immediately upon its publication in English in an English newspaper and in a Filipino newspaper. So both of general circulation. So that's all for my report and thank you.